Hey, conference report. This isn't, specifically a reply to this particular video, but sort of this idea of copying yourself into a computer. I, first of all, don't believe that Turing machines, current kind of computers that we have, can implement animal living personalities. But it is possible, right? There's some component or way to build a new type of computer or a current computer with some new components, as I say, that at least in principle would be able to house a subjective consciousness. Now, I believe that simply because it's a result of reductionism. I mean, we somehow have the parts to do that, so something else can have the parts. Can we figure out what those parts are? Well, I believe if it's possible to make parts, we can figure it out. And you don't have to figure out every single thing because you might copy. Maybe you don't understand why a particular shape of a network is conscious, but you see the shape and you copy the shape. Okay. So let's just say that there's ways, and I do honestly believe there might be a way. The problem is that that's a copy. All right, now I do see incentives for getting people to move in there. Like you could let people grow up using the VR, and at 20, you tell them, listen, you either go into the VR full time, and we kill your body because it takes up space on the planet, or you get to stay alive, but you don't ever get to go in the VR again. I think 9 times out of 10 people raised, or even more, in the VR will not want to give it up, and they'll believe that their life can continue. On the other hand, here's the thing. Here's how I think it works. Okay, so they're copying you into the VR. And by the way, Greg Egan has some great books about people that live this way. They have files of themselves, and they can go on a mission. If they die, they just reload from the file and so on. Okay, so, and they can have multiple copies of themselves and all kinds of stuff because of this. Very great. It's great. But anyway, that isn't what I was going to go into. So you put on the helmet that's going to copy your current self into the computer. Okay. And then the copy takes place, and then in the computer, which is some sort of super computer that can have consciousness, and then there you are, you're inside, and you go, it worked. I'm here. I'm in the virtual world. Meanwhile, outside, you take the helmet off, and you go, it didn't work. I'm still out here. It's a copy. Now, you could destroy that copy. You could have a situation where, okay, the instant after you're copied into the computer, you're killed. You could have a deal like that, right? Because how else would the incentive work? So the incentive would be like, look, we incinerate you right after the copy. Or maybe the copy will be so destructive that it automatically disintegrates. Like with the teleporter in Star Trek, when you teleport down to the planet, you're a different person, right? It's only because the teleportation, deconstructs you. Your matter isn't sent down there. Your energy pattern is sent down there, and it's reconstructed from matter, if it even was to work at all. So you are a copy. If the original is destroyed in the process of copying, you're still a copy. And if the original isn't destroyed, you have an interesting sort of I wrote a short story once about that. There's these teleportation devices, and this guy uses it to commute. He lives in San Francisco, works in New York. It's great. Goes in every morning, boom, comes out in the streets of New York. However, the machine malfunctions one time, and it doesn't kill the original. And he gets out, and there's 2 of them running around. And, of course, it's a mayhem at that point. But anyway, so this is the main problem. You could copy yourself into a computer, I believe, in principle. But you'll still have the copy. It's sort of like there's a similar real-world issue with people that say, well, we can ruin the planet because we'll just move to another planet. Well, there's fucking going to be billions of people here. Not all of them are going to move. We're going to have a planet-sized spaceship. If we did, we'd turn the Earth into one. You have, when you copy or move, it's always this transformation of energy where there leaves some remnant. And in the case of copying yourself into a computer, that remnant is the original you. You're still like, hey, I'm outside the computer. You can't get in it. That copy can never get in. And it's with computer metaphors. We talk about transferring files. We don't transfer files. We create copies of files. When you move a file from one directory to another, in that case, the file stays exactly in the same location and moves the directory entry. But if you move it from my computer to your computer, then you only have one choice, to copy it on my computer. And the move means, by the way, delete it on mine afterwards. So that's the problem with copying yourself into a virtual reality.